had this public-private dialogue. We brought together a number of important actors working on nutrition. These are nutrition specialists from the UN family, like the World Food Programme, from the donor community, like the Special Envoy for Food Security in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. We had a number of big companies, multinational companies like DSM, BASF or Bayern that are committed to fight nutrition through some of their corporate social responsibility or even looking forward to their core business of what they do and what they sell. So it is important to bring together these people because in a way or the other through their partnerships with Africa, they have started looking at how you can fight malnutrition, which basically means not only we have to increase agricultural production and give more food, of course, to people, but also paying really attention on what quality of the food, what is the nutrition content of what we are doing. And there is an increasing fashion, of course, in doing this through public-private partnership approaches.
I think it's always important to have at first to have a common understanding. What exactly are we talking about? It can be such an abstract topic, nutrition, that it's very important to be on an equal understanding of what we mean with it, both from the private sector side, government, knowledge institutes and civil society organizations. And I think these kinds of meetings can be very helpful in getting, let's say, alignment across all actors.
The challenges are happening on multiple levels. First set of challenges is just the challenges of setting up such a large and complex partnership. You have to align all stakeholders' interests towards a common goal, which is a challenge in itself.
High-level advocacy, high-level awareness, and multi-sectoral coordination. If you want to have nutrition tackled by different sectors, then we need to have in place some kind of coordinating body. And this body cannot be in one single sector. It has to be in the land ministry or above the land ministry so that they can coordinate all the sectors.
Well, I think, once you start looking at nutrition, you realise what a cross-cutting topic it is and how many different actors need to all be lined up in order to actually deal with any of the policies and the actual implementation to deal with under nutrition. So I think one of the things I've discovered in this workshop is the importance of the regulatory environment, for example, not just in terms of the broad business environment, but also in terms of specifics. For firms that want to work on food fortification, for example, you need to have regulatory systems in place. And so in order to kind of get some of the coordination required, you need to have people from these different sectors coming together and understand what the nutrition aspect is about, understanding what private sector needs are about, and understanding the kind of the role for governments there within that. So I think this kind of informal dialogue is very useful to get some of these things on the table.
So the reality of the development sector now is that there's simply not enough public financing available to solve the myriad development challenges that exist. Even when we were focused on a relatively narrow set of interventions, even then there wasn't truly enough public investment behind those interventions. And as our sophistication in the sector has risen and we recognize that all of these new issues, and nutrition has been viewed as a new issue, require that same set of relatively limited public funding. So for that reason alone, it's important to try to find other innovative financing mechanisms to tap into, including the private sector. But the reality is that it's not only about the finance, it's also about literally the skills, access, and expertise of business, which has to be brought to the table so that we can sustainably make changes in this system.
Usually there are three levels of causes for undernutrition. The immediate causes, the underlying causes, and the basic causes. The immediate causes are the ones related to the individuals, to the dietary intake and the health of the body, and the underlying causes are related to community and to the household, and the basic one are the ones related to the more at the national, subnational, nationals, and international level, are linked with, for example, the economic situations of the country, or civil wars, natural disasters. So it's incredible how working on undernutrition, it's extremely complex.
The issue of complexity of nutrition is linked to the nature of the issue. First of all, it's something that most of the time is not even seen. It is invisible. And if you look at the UNICEF framework, you can see that the number of factors that are impacting undernutrition are coming from different sectors.
It's looking very much at regional integration from an economic point of view and from an agricultural point of view, and there's quite a strong logic that for Africa the markets are relatively small, borders are relatively thick, so it's very difficult to carry out trade. And I think since when we're talking about nutrition security, we're essentially talking about access and availability of good quality food, basically. Easy flow of trade of food goods across borders is obviously a big part of the story.
So more analysis and type of case studies needed to showcase what works and what doesn't. So I think we will continue dialoguing and doing some of these activities with GAIN, and then bring the results of these case studies or these dialogues to the table of the CAADP, because next year is 2014 is the African Union Year of Food Security, and is also the 10th anniversary of CAADP. So there is the moment where also maybe heads of state, politicians, the decisions maker in Africa will have to look back, recognize that not much, unfortunately, was done in terms of nutrition-specific action as part of CAADP, and so we can bring in this dimension, and looking forward to the next 10 years of CAADP, hopefully they can decide what to do a bit more specifically on nutrition.